Alright, I'm gonna come out and say it straight up, Starfield is not the game of the year, okay? It's my hot take, so if you disagree, then feel free to seethe and click off this video right now because I promise, I pinky promise that you are not gonna like what comes next. Alright, but in all seriousness, overall Starfield is simply just a pretty average RPG that, although it does offer an immense amount of high quality, engaging content, it's often held back by a handful of questionable decisions that can make the game incredibly annoying to play at times. With that being said, okay, before you grill me in the comments, I'm still having a great time playing it, but you really need to curb your expectations going in. So without further ado, let's get into this review, shall we? To start this off strong, first I need to clarify a million times over that this game is absolutely not a space sim. Repeat after me, this is not a space sim. It's a Bethesda RPG in space, so do not come in expecting Star Citizen 2.0 or Elite Dangerous because you're going to be incredibly disappointed. The best comparison I can offer is to the Mass Effect series because the main campaign is incredibly linear and the open world aspect is only really there for you to explore as a side objective. Now with that out of the way, I'm going to get straight into the space exploration aspect because this is easily the most hyped and anticipated feature of this game by a landslide, literally no competition, but I feel like this is where the game both falls short and also really excels. Now look, I know those are two highly conflicting statements, alright, but what I really mean is that the space exploration aspect does a little bit really well, but then it turns around and does a lot very wrong. Alright, so we're going to start this off by talking about the ship, and overall I'm pretty disappointed with how it was implemented in the game. To start on a more positive note, the fact that there's walkable ship interiors makes me really happy actually because it turns your ship into a mobile home with a practical use, rather than simply just being a movement speed buff like a mount or a catalyst for travel between worlds like you would see in Mass Effect. I do wish that the transition between the cargo bay and the interior was seamless, but I appreciate that we have the option to either board the ship regularly or go straight to the cockpit. Now as for actually flying the ship, the handling is straight up dog shit, and there's literally no other way to phrase it. As someone who's dabbled a lot in games like Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky, and Everspace, I can say with the utmost confidence that they really fumbled the bag on this system. Before I go any further, I want to clarify that my ship piloting experience has been exclusively on mouse and keyboard. But for starters, the cursor for aiming your ship is so laggy, and paired with a massive delay in the ship responding to your input, it's absolute hell trying to fly this thing. On top of that, the base controls are just so terribly mapped. Diverting power to different systems of your ship requires you to switch between each individual system one by one until you finally land on the one you need. Then you need to either add or take away bars of power, once again, one by one. This isn't terrible if you're just idling, but in combat it's really difficult to divert your power if necessary. My biggest complaint is that it seems like they're trying to mix arcade-style movement with realistic physics, and that obviously just simply doesn't mesh very well. Space combat, on the other hand, when you finally get the hang of your ship's shitty controls, is actually rather fun. Other than that, I really like the crew system actually. It's super cool to be able to manage a crew with their own unique strengths and weaknesses, and it's pretty awesome to have a bunch of followers at your disposal who come along with you everywhere you go. Now we're on to the actual planetary exploration aspect of the game, and it's just like kind of alright. I mean, the graphics are beautiful and every planet you land on looks like something straight out of Interstellar. But I'll tell you straight up, no hesitation, that if you were actually expecting to travel seamlessly between hundreds of unique planets filled to the brim with side missions, dungeons, and loot, then you're going to be severely disappointed with this game, and you gotta lay off the pipe, for real. To put it simply, exploration can, with a capital C, be super fun, rewarding, and engaging, so long as you go to the right place. The truth is that a lot of planets are completely barren. Most of them simply just serve as a way to get resources and maybe set up an outpost rather than a place to complete objectives. But if you happen to land at the right floating rock, there is a lot of fun to be had. One of the first places I explored was the Earth's moon and the Sol system. When I got there, I found one side mission, a cave, and 3 different outposts filled with enemies to kill and loot to collect. I will say that finding a place to land on a planet can be really annoying. Unless you have an objective telling you exactly where to go, you're pretty much raw dogging a landing zone and hoping that you get close to some structures, which wouldn't be an issue if this game had atmospheric flight, but unfortunately it does not. Thankfully, in typical Bethesda fashion, there is a fast travel system that allows you to travel between areas you've already discovered. This is especially convenient for space travel because it allows you to travel straight to a planet outside of the system you're currently in, assuming you've explored something there already. And if you decided that you really enjoy a planet, or maybe you just want to strip it of all its natural resources, you can build an outpost, which is basically a carbon copy of Fallout 4's settlement system. It allows you to place mineral extractors, prefabricated buildings, defenses, and much more. But now I have 2 major problems with exploration that I need to talk about. First is that your spaceship feels entirely useless outside of being a mobile home. The game relies entirely on fast travel to do practically anything or get anywhere at all, and what ends up happening is you eventually start to just fast travel between systems and planets without even touching your spaceship because you do not need to be in your ship to travel. So why would you ever waste your time dealing with the ship when you could just fast travel to anywhere you want on foot? The ship literally serves as a glorified loading screen to hop between planets for 90% of the game. To make it slightly more bearable, though, I will say that the other 10% of your time can be filled with space battles, trading, pirating, etc. And there is a pretty in-depth shipbuilding system, so I will admit that it can be fun to make your own personalized spaceship. Second is that there's a shit ton of clutter just literally everywhere. I know this isn't anything new to Bethesda RPGs, and having too many interactable items is better than having none in most cases, but it can get really overwhelming trying to loot literally anything of value because there's just so many useless items laying around, and sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish between what's good and what's not. That being said, okay, there's still a ton of fun armor and weapons to find throughout your playthrough. In my first 4 hours alone, I got 2 legendary pieces of gear, about 6 pieces of epic gear, and over 10 pieces of rare gear, which all gave me unique stats or effects. One piece of gear I obtained was a chameleon calibrated deep space suit, which made me invisible after crouching for a short period of time. In Starfield, you get a space suit slot, a helmet slot, an apparel slot, and a pack slot. On top of that, you get dozens of unique weapons, including laser pistols, shotguns, and assault rifles. There's absolutely no shortage of awesome gear to find. And thankfully, to tie it all together, the combat in this game feels incredible across the board. Every single gun I've come across has felt useful in its own unique way, whether it was a sniper that I could initiate combat with from a distance, or a melee weapon that I could pull out when things got up close and personal. There are so many options to choose from, and you're guaranteed to find a weapon that suits your playstyle. Accompanying this is a mod upgrade system similar to Fallout 4, and of course it doesn't end there because this is elevated even further thanks to the perk system. Something I thoroughly enjoy about this game's perk system is that you really have to earn your perks. The way it works is that in order to unlock a new row on the perk tree, you have to first spend a certain number of points. For example, the second row can be unlocked by spending 4 points in the first row. On top of that, in order to level up your perks past level 1, you need to complete special objectives tied to the perk you're trying to upgrade. I had one perk that required me to use my boost pack 10 times in combat to unlock the level 2 upgrade. With all of this put together, the build crafting is simply just amazing. There's so many awesome perks and weapons available for you to upgrade, it would almost be impossible to not find something you enjoy playing. Unfortunately, though, not only is equipping gear oftentimes a challenge, but doing a lot of things that require a menu in this game can be very fucking annoying. Overall, the UI is just bad and unintuitive, but it is really beautiful from a thematic standpoint, and I appreciate how low-key it is when you're actually playing the game. For starters, the inventory system just feels clunky to navigate because you have to cycle through so many menus to get what you want. They really should have just done something similar to Fallout or Skyrim where you can just cycle back and forth between tabs and easily access everything. And the star map shares the exact same problem. It has 3 different screens which have to be cycled through one at a time. So you start with a planetary map, jump to the system map, then you get the galaxy map. It would just be nice if we could cycle through maps in the inventory a little bit more easily. I will give credit to the perk tree though, because it's actually really easy to navigate. Overall, this is just a small nitpick of mine, and I'm not going to penalize the game for it because it really isn't a deciding factor in whether you should purchase the game or not. To end on a high note, finally we have the story, and it's pretty good overall. You start out in a mine where you find a strange artifact that grants you temporary visions. Soon after, you awaken a hospital where you create your character and get attacked by space pirates. After the assault is over, you're given a ship and you head out into space to start your journey. Without getting into spoilers, the rest of the story mainly just revolves around locating other artifacts. The voice acting is amazing, the NPCs are all memorable, and the dialogue options are always interesting. As a matter of fact, I really enjoy the persuasion option in this game. To put it simply, you get 3 tries to persuade an NPC. Every attempt will give you several persuasion dialogue options to choose from, and it turns into a fun little minigame of trying to persuade the NPC to get whatever the hell you want. So overall, Starfield is a massively ambitious title that succeeds tremendously in being nothing more than a classic Bethesda role-playing game with the gimmick of space travel seemingly tacked on towards the end. It's not a bad game by any means, but don't come in expecting a groundbreaking next-gen title that's gonna make you blow your load in your pants. And like I said earlier, I'm gonna continue to play the game and enjoy it, and I think you should give it a shot too, but it has way too many glaring issues holding it back, and it's absolutely not a necessary purchase by any means. However, if you've been craving a new RPG, then it's one of the best products you can buy at this moment in time, and with mods and DLC coming in the future, it's guaranteed to only get better. So get out there, start exploring, and just have some good old-fashioned Bethesda fun. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.